Welcome to the Real Solar Podcast. I'm Legacy.
And I'm Cesar Legacy.
And here we keep it real. So today we're going to be breaking down the fundamentals of getting results, of building a team, of closing deals, of having a book of business. So Cesar, I know you always go over the 5 P's, so I'll let you dive into that.
Yeah, and for me, it was just a way to simplify it because I feel that sometimes we like to complicate an uncomplicated business. Mm-hmm. And if we can just really narrow it down to a few fundamentals. And I don't know if those that are watching are familiar with Tim Duncan. They called him the big fundamental. He was one of the best centers ever. Some say he was the best, right? But he's up there. He's one of the GOATs of the NBA as far as the center. And his footwork, his fundamental game was just impeccable. They would just always talk about how fundamentally sound he was, and he didn't do anything fancy. He was not an exciting player to watch, but he always put up the biggest numbers. He would have a lot of rebounds, even a lot of assists for a big guy, and he can shoot and he can score. And he was just like, dude, at the end of the day, like Tim Duncan's always in the top of the charts. And so year by year, game by game, and championships later, he's considered to be one of the best. And all he did was perfect the fundamentals. Yeah. Right. Even Kobe Bryant, they talk about how he was, the 4 a.m. club. He was in the gym practicing before anybody else showed up. Guess what he was doing? Fundamentals. He was not dunking and doing crazy stuff. He was working on the fundamentals. And so it's not about the flashy side of the game. If you can add your flair to it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the fundamentals. So what is it? What are the fundamentals in solar? I narrowed it down to 5 P's. Yeah. Right. So that it's easy to remember. The first P is promoting. If you prospecting. Pick your P. I like prospecting myself. Right. If you're not good at prospecting, you can't even participate in the game. Yeah. And
let's break that down, and then we'll go P by P.
Yeah,
so
prospecting is number one.
And prospecting, there's so many creative ways to prospect. Whether that's door knocking, warm market, asking for referrals, and not being weird about it.
You're doing them a favor, because the problem is that a lot of guys in solar take advantage of this opportunity, this knowledge, and they don't really go talk to the homeowner to take care of them. They just want to take care of their pockets. And so when people come across people like that, it leaves a bad taste in their mouth. So they feel bad about going to talk to their friends and family about it. Well, dude, you don't got to screw them over like that guy did. Yeah. Take care of them, right? Make sure there's enough in there to take care of yourself, but make sure you take care of your client, number one. That's fundamental, right? Because that's how you're going to get referrals. That's how you're not going to have to go hide if you run into them at a gas station and shit. Like, oh, I'm going to go pump across the street now because so-and-so is there. Like, dude, if you took care of them, you should say, hey, dude, how's that solar going, man? Has your friends, family asked about it? Well, if you sold it right, you're going to be able to engage like that. If not, you're going to be hiding around town because you're a scumbag. Yeah. So fundamentals are take care of your clients, which is part of the prospecting process, right? Joining groups like BNI, mixers, doing events yourself, man. We got to stop being so damn lazy and acting like everything's a big deal. Oh man, an event. I can't do an event. Go do an event, dude.
And they're fun.
It's fun. And the thing is, that's when you get the most contacts, because this is kind of like a hack, right? If you want people to want to meet with you and ask about you and be and have that interest in you, host an event. Everybody wants to network with the host. Everybody wants to ask the host what they do and how we can collaborate.
And get creative. I mean, you can collaborate with restaurants, you can collaborate with businesses, have a bunch of people show up, give raffles away, and all you're doing is trading information. For example, we did a car show. We had all these guys come and bring their fancy cars. We gave away $100 at an AutoZone, like an AutoZone gift card. We gave away like a bucket to clean your car with tire shine, all that stuff. And what they had to do is, in order to be put in the raffle, they had to give their name, their number, their email address, and their home address. So now we just generated a bunch of leads. And when we reach out to these people, we're going to reach out to them about the car show. Like what they think about the car show, the next car show that we're going to have, the next event. We had a pool event, like a pool tournament. Like, you can get creative, you can get fun.
It doesn't always have to be like, hey, my name is Cesar, I sell solar.
Yeah.
It gets boring after a while. I see you guys just post on Facebook, like those realtors out there. I'm going to give you a hint. We already know you sell houses. We don't give a damn about your new listing. If you don't have anything exciting to share, I'm going to stop following you. Mm-hmm. You can't just make it about the thing you do over and over and over and over. You got to keep it exciting. And that's where events come in, because an event is basically like not even part of the solar business, right, at the moment, but we get solar business from it. Yeah. The ripple effect is you get people that want to join your team, you get clients, you get referrals off of events. If you do it right, and you got to do it with that, you're expecting that. You're expecting people to show up. You're not hoping people show up. You're not like scared about spending some money to put it together. Like you can even get sponsorship for it. So we can dive deeper on how to prospect and all the ways that we can bring business, generate attention. Right. That's the big key. If you generate attention, now all of a sudden there's momentum, and people want to be part of that. Right.
And before we move to the next piece, so just so everybody understands, there's 2 levels to the prospecting. You have your direct clients, and then you have the people that you're trying to recruit. And you don't forget about that side of the business, because that's how you scale. A lot of times you can get the majority of your business by prospecting recruits, because they have warm markets. They have people that they know, people that they can put you in front of.
Well, that's the approach of recruit to sell, right? Because if I recruit you, Legacy, and you know 10 homeowners that I don't know, all of a sudden that's a new warm market for me. And what do you get out of it? Well, you're new and you're going to learn from my experience. So it's a win-win for you. You're going to gain knowledge so that now you can turn around and do this yourself. And make more money, right? I'm going to gain a new warm market, right? And it's a triangle, right? They trust you because they know you, right? But then they don't know you to be the expert in solar. So can they really trust you to put a solar system on their house? Oftentimes they don't, because they're like, well, we know Legacy. He had this other company just a couple months ago, and now he's trying to sell me solar. But then you introduce them to the guy that's been in solar for 10 years. All of a sudden it's different. My tonality with them could be different, because I'm the expert. I'm like the doctor that shows up. You know, I'm not here to sell you on anything. I'm just telling you the facts. And if you want to have the cure for your issue, this is it. And so I can be not necessarily more pushy, but I could just be more direct with people than you would be able to, because you have, you know, they trust you, they love you, but you haven't had that credibility in this yet. So that's where people that come in the industry got to be humble enough to be able to use other people that have the experience. And then people that have the experience got to be humble enough that the new people coming in are that much valuable for them, because that's like a whole new warm market, and you got to take responsibility for that. You can't just say, but put me in front of people and I'll cut you a piece. Like that's what a lot of people say. Yeah, man, put me in front of people and I'll you know, I'll take care of you. What does that mean? Like, what's the plan? If you don't have a plan, and there are people like, hey, what happened to so-and-so? I don't know, bro. He didn't decide not to work. He hasn't put me in front of nobody. What have you done so that we can make that happen?
And how are you measuring that?
And dude, this is all part of prospecting. This is all prospecting. And when people are not getting deals, is because they're not prospecting. They're not recruiting to go out to warm markets. They're not tapping into their own warm market. They're not going to groups. They're not doing events. They're door knocking every other day, if that. You know, they're spending more time at Starbucks.
I think door knocking is a good fundamental to have, but you need to have a combination. You need to diversify your activity. At least for me personally, I think the approach of recruiting to sell is a lot more efficient. It's duplicatable. Like, I'm doing 2 things at once. I'm finding warm markets and bases where I can close deals. And at the same time, I'm positioning somebody to make money. And if they're making money, they're going to stick around. And now I continue to duplicate, because I want to build a team. I want to be able to scale.
And this is the thing. You can participate in all the different ways of prospecting. You can have some people at a supermarket at a booth. You can have a local swap meet at a booth, right? And people are like, oh, that shit doesn't work. Dude, I know somebody that got 2 deals this week from a little swap meet scenario, like, you know, and they're already got referrals. They got like 7 referrals from that. So everything works as long as you're interacting with other humans. That's how to simplify it. What kind of prospecting can I do? Well, there's still traditional marketing. There's still billboards on the freeway that talk about solar, and guess what? They get calls from that. There's telemarketing. There's text blasting. There's social media prospecting. Right. There's just so much you can't. Door to door is probably the most popular way because it's the free way. It's free. Like right now, we can go knock across the street. We can be knocking doors, prospecting in 10 minutes from now. That's how quick that is. And you're going to interact with humans. That's the point. But if you can interact with humans in other ways, like joining a BNI group and influencing the group so that you can get leads and referrals, you know what I mean? It's just really about human interaction. That's what prospecting comes.
At what value you're going to bring in those interactions and being interested in everybody's businesses. Because I get a lot of people ask me like, dude, I've already tried to connect with these roofers and they don't want to.
Or I went to a BNI and they didn't send me any business.
So how did you approach it? Did you say, hey, you know, send me some deals and I'll give you a commission? It's like, no, dude, you have to put yourself in a position like, okay, this is the resources that I have. This is the amount of team, or this is the size of my team. This is how many people I expect that they're talking to on a weekly basis. This person has a roofing company. It's like, hey, how can you make it easy for me to send you business? I have 40 sales guys out there knocking doors, selling solar, qualifying clients. How can I send you business?
So you're describing strategic partners. Roofers, realtors. Loan officers,
pest control,
alarms, security, AC. What else? Landscapers, pools.
You name it. I mean, anybody that's in a house,
construction, developers. I mean, the list goes on and on, guys. If you're not getting deals, if you're not getting connected with people, is either you're not trying or you're not bringing any value. You're just going asking for handouts. And that's the key. You mentioned what value are you bringing? Because if you bring value to a BNI group, they're going to give you referrals. If you bring value to strategic partners, they're going to give you referrals.
And if you just approach everything that way, I mean, not just the strategic partnerships, your recruits, your clients, everyone that you're interacting with, you think of what do they want to accomplish? What are they trying to get? How can I put them in a position where they can achieve that? Or I can introduce them to someone that can help them do that. Really having that approach, that mindset makes you a likable person. It's like, man, every time I hang out with Legacy, like he gets me closer to what I'm trying to do. He puts me in a better position than I was before. It's like
80% of your time should be invested in prospecting. And I think we mess it up because we end up spending 80% of the time on everything else. And then prospecting goes down to 20% at best. Especially when you've been in the game for a while and you've already experienced making the money, you've already got, you're already set up and at a pretty good level. You become your prospecting time goes down. That's a fact. And you recruit people and then you say, oh, I don't have time to prospect because I got to recruit all these guys. I got to spend the time, working with the team. And then we start using the excuse. It's like, dude, why'd you want a team? So that you can make an excuse that you don't have time to sell now? Is that why you wanted a team? So that you can make excuses in front of your team? You're better off without a team. You'll make more money without a team if you're spending your time 80% of the time prospecting. But my point is you can spend 80% of the time prospecting while you have a team. Why? Because the other 20% of the time is going to be either Zoom calls, live meetings with the group, and you're teaching to the masses, right? If you got 10 people on your team, you're not going to spend 1 hour separately every day with everybody. You're going to spend 1 hour with all of them. And then the rest of the time, they're either on the field with you, learning with you. Like this is how we earn and learn at the same time. We don't want to just sit in the office and learn. And then you can go home to tell your kids like, hey, what's up, Dad? How did it go today? I'm still a broke motherfucker, but I learned a lot.
Yeah.
No, fuck that, dude. Go out in the field and learn on the field. I'm sick and tired of people wanting to sit down and talk and let's go over this and let's go over that. Like, let's go to the field. Let's go sell something. You can watch. You're going to learn a lot more. Yeah. Let's go out to the, where are you set up? Where's your BNI group at? What are you doing? Where's your next event? Yeah. That's what I want to hear. That's where I want to go talk to you at.
Like, if you're not in a position where you can pull out your phone or you can on the fly think of like, okay, I can go get in front of a couple of people right now. Like, because I need to get in front of people. I need them to introduce me to somebody else. It's that mindset. Like, when we first kicked off the company, it's just the approach. It's all we were thinking. It's like, okay, who do we know? Talking to our whole team, like, hey, who do you know? Who can you put us in front of? How can we like introduce ourselves to more and more people, and focusing on like a deal a day mentality,
right?
Like a deal a day. If I didn't go home with a deal, I lost. Like, today was an L, but I can make it up. But be on that same urgency.
And don't get caught up with the money you're making, because chances are you get a couple deals and you paid off your whole month or 2 months of your rent, and you feel pretty comfortable with that. That's the worst measurement stick you can have. You don't want to look at your bank account and your money that's coming in as, am I succeeding or not? Look at the leaderboard. Look at the numbers. Go see what Michael O'Donnell sold this month and outsell him.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Go see who the top person in the office is and outsell them, and the company is and outsell them. Who cares if you made 100 times the amount of money you needed?
Yeah.
Because what happens is, if you pay too much attention of the money that you need, you're going to just work at that level. Yeah. If you've never made $250,000, you're not going to make it, because even though you made 200 in the summer in 4 months, you're going to fuck off the rest of the year because your expectation was 250, right? Well, don't worry about that. Just go out and play ball. Right? Go play ball and compete with the best of the best, and try to do as much as you can, because you don't know how good this opportunity is going to be around for. Like, dude, nothing lasts forever. You know, we don't last forever. So you don't know if you're going to be here for the next 5 years. Why not make sure you max out in the next 5 months? Right, that's the thing. Now we can just, prospecting again is the number one fundamental, and we can continue to go deeper.
And what
I
was gonna say is we're gonna keep everybody with an open loop, because we said 5, but there's just so much in the prospecting, and we're just gonna have to go into multiple episodes to break down every single one, to really elaborate on what it means to do that.
Yeah, because prospecting is like a whole series of 12 episodes itself, because there's at least a dozen ways to prospect. You know, so, and we can dive deep in each and every single one of those. But again, the fundamentals is just be busy, be in front of people, look for opportunities to interact, and you're bringing the solution to a problem that everybody has. You already got to know that they have a problem. See, what separates the top closers to the mid-level to the ones that actually have to go get a new job because they couldn't cut it in solar is the fact that they are coming in, again, like the doctor that's showing up with the results, and I have the solution to your issue. Whether you want to accept that or not, that's irrelevant, right? So whether you tell me that it's a good deal or not, like, now my job is just to educate you on why it is. You're not going to convince me that it's not.
Yeah, I don't remember who was asking me the other day, and they're like, dude, like, what's your pitch? How do you present it? Because I go to the door and I'm like, I can show you how to save money and open this. And I'm like, dude, I literally knock on the door and I tell them I'm the solar guy. I was like, because my back end side of it, I know I can solve anything that they're going to tell me.
Most people don't even want to say they do solar anymore. They want to disguise it with energy efficiency specialist, which is cool. Like, I don't knock on that. I like those concepts too, because if I can help your house improve in many ways, I'm down for that. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of people do it just because they want to shy away for the fact that we're here to offer them solar.
Well, it's developing the skill set, because the only reason why you can't get a bill or you can't get in the door is because you can't solve their objections. Like, that's the bottom line. If you can be clear, you can simplify it, you can ask the right questions to where they're telling you they need solar. You know, you're going to get it, no problem.
And you got to look at an objection like it's a fun thing, like it's an obstacle. Like, in high school I played linebacker, right? It was a lot funner when they put things in your way to hit. You know what I mean? If I just got to run to the ball and do this and do that, it's like, okay, whatever. I'm It's part of the game. But my favorite part of the game is when I get to hit something. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so an objection, you got to look at it like, awesome, you're bringing up an objection. I get to do my job and be an expert and overcome the objection and knock it the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I get to hit it. Yeah. Right. I get excited about objection because now my testimonial, when I tell you, like, I closed this deal, he was actually a difficult client. He said this, he didn't want it because of this, but I knocked all those objections out the way and I got to the end result. Instead of just like, oh, as soon as those objections come up, it's like, dude, you're a little middle linebacker. You're supposed to have things in your way to hit and remove to get to where you want to get to. So that's how I look at it. You know, we got to look at it as a sport. I associate a lot of what I do to sports because that's what I did as a kid. And that's what keeps the competitive spirit alive. Dude, I can't keep my competitive spirit alive working at a job. Yeah. It's like, I'll go crazy. How are you competitive at a job? You can't go any higher. It's like, this is your position. This is what you get paid. No matter how good you are at it. You can get 5 cents, 25 cents increase next year. Dude, really? Like, the dollar just went down like 12%, but you're going to give me an extra quarter? Yeah. How am I going to stay competitive with that? So this is why, like, you got to want those objections. You got to want the fact that is not just handed to you, because you got to get to work for it. And you can only do that if you truly have a burning desire to be the best. Yeah. If you don't have a burning desire to be the best, then any objection will knock you off your game. Yeah. Any issue will knock you off the game.
And if it does, I mean, if that's where you're at, it's just developing the skill set. You know, it's not that you can't do it. It's not that you personally have an issue. All you have to do is develop the skill set. Yep. You have to develop the confidence. You have to know that you're going to help the client, because if you know that, whatever the client says, they're not going to convince you otherwise. They're not going to tell you they don't need it. Like, you're going to look at them like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I always talk about, like, the cure to cancer. Like, I believe it in my core, like, their house has cancer and I have the cure and it's solar. So when they tell me they don't need it, I'm like, what are you talking about?
They got to go pray for it.
Yeah. Like,
they got to go think about it.
Yeah.
It's they might sell their house pretty soon.
Yeah. And
whatever objection it is.
I even tell the clients, like, if I had a sickness and you had the cure, like, and you knew that you had it, and I was trying to tell you, I'm not interested, I don't want it. Like, what would you say? Well, fuck, like, you need it. And I'm like, well, that's the case here. So absolutely. Is there anything else you want to cover on prospecting? Any last little key pointers?
Well, again, just you said it. You have to get the training so that you can have that confidence. And Brad talks about it all the time. You either not doing it or you don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Which one is it? If you're not getting the results, you're not doing it, or you don't know how.
Yeah.
And I'd rather have someone that's out there just doing it and just needs more training than somebody that knows it all, but they're lazy.
Yeah.
Because how many people like that exist, man? And those are the stories you're never going to hear about, right? Oh man, I know all about solar. I don't give a shit what you know about solar. Where are you at in the leaderboard?
Yeah.
Where are you at in the leaderboard, dude? That's all that matters. Yeah. It's like a baseball player, dude. He could talk shit in the dugout all he wants, but the numbers don't lie. Mm-hmm. Where's your numbers at? Yeah. How come you're not in the top tier, right? Yeah. And so you either not doing it or you don't know how to do it.
Yeah. And you can't fake that.
Yeah. Or you know how to do it a little bit. Yeah. You know how to get laydowns. Yeah. You go and talk to somebody that's been waiting to get solar, and boom, there you are. You sign one up. Oh, 14 kW sold on the spot. I'm fucking on fire. Boom. Yeah. Dude, you took an order that person was going to buy from anybody. But what happens when you run into that person like, dude, I've talked to 10 solar guys. Get out of here. I'm not interested. Mm-hmm. Sell that guy. Yeah. Right. So that's when you've mastered your craft, when you can take a no, convert it into a yes.
Yeah. And I'm excited to really dive deep onto the closing and solving the case. So, I mean, I think that pretty much scratches the surface on prospecting, but we covered quite a bit.
Absolutely.
We gave a lot of ideas.
I mean, there's so much more that we can go deeper into it, but it's a good outline so that you can understand the mentality that you got to have with prospecting.
Yeah. So there you have it, guys. I'm Legacy.
And I'm Cesar Legacy.
And we keep it real.